On the morning of the 5th of August, 1962, a routine roadblock on the dusty road near Howick in KwaZulu-Natal would change the course of South African history. Behind the wheel of a blue Renault sedan, Nelson Mandela, codenamed David Motsamai, the Black Pimpernel of the security police, prepared to cross yet another provincial border, moving in and out of clandestine safe houses. Yet at that moment, the security forces closed in. He would never again move freely in the land he loved. Nelson Mandela was born on 18 July 1918 in the small village of Mvezo in the rural Eastern Cape. He was the son of a Thembu chief raised among cattle kraals and traditional rites. From an early age, he absorbed the values of his Xhosa community: respect for elders, the sanctity of the land, and a deep sense of justice rooted in African custom. As British colonial administration tightened its grip over South Africa, young Rolihlahla witnessed two worlds collide: the communal harmony of his people and the rigid hierarchy of colonial power. This duality between tradition and imposed authority would shape his understanding of injustice and the need for principled resistance. In 1941, Mandela left tribal life for Johannesburg, seeking opportunity and a modern education. At the University of Fort Hare, and later the University of South Africa, he studied law. His days were filled with lectures, his nights with political debate. He joined the African National Congress, ANC, in 1944, co-founding its youth league alongside Walter Sisulu and Oliver Tambo. They believed that the ANC's cautious approach needed the energy of young people, organized, disciplined, and unafraid to challenge the status quo. Yet even as Mandela embraced nonviolent protest, segregation hardened into apartheid after 1948, codifying racial discrimination into law. Passed laws, land acts, and curfews pierced the lives of millions, deepening Mandela's resolve that peaceful petitioning alone would not dismantle such a system. The Sharpeville massacre of 21st March 1960 was a turning point. Police opened fire on unarmed protesters, killing 69 and wounding hundreds. The world recoiled, and Mandela, still committed to nonviolence, recognized that apartheid would not yield to moral suasion alone. That December, Mandela, Sisulu, and Tambo founded Umkhonto we Sizwe, MK, the Spear of the Nation. Its strategy: sabotage government installations, power lines, transport hubs, inflicting economic damage but sparing civilian lives. MK's first raids on government buildings in 1961 marked the birth of armed resistance in South Africa. Under the alias David Motsamai, Mandela crisscrossed the country, sometimes by train, sometimes on foot, organizing cells and distributing directives. He traveled abroad to Ethiopia, where he received military training, and to London, where he secured funds from sympathetic trade unions and anti-apartheid groups. On returning from Ethiopia in late July 1962, Mandela slipped past one checkpoint after another until 5th August. At a roadblock near Howick, police asked for his identification. His alias held up under scrutiny for a moment, but a routine fingerprint check revealed his true identity. Charged with incitement to strike and leaving the country without a passport, he faced prison. Yet even as he prepared for court, his mind worked on strategy. He considered the charges trivial, but recognized their gravity. Once imprisoned, his ability to lead the struggle would be curtailed. His trial in November 1962 was swift. Defense arguments targeted the political nature of the case, but the judge handed down 5 years imprisonment. On the 7th of November, prisoner number 19,476/62 began life in Pretoria local prison, behind bars with hardened criminals under harsh conditions. Yet Mandela's fight did not end behind bars. In July 1963, police raided Lily's Leaf Farm in Rivonia, near Johannesburg, the ANC's clandestine headquarters. Documents found there implicated Mandela and other leaders in plans for armed insurrection. They faced new charges: sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the state. This was the Rivonia trial, opened in October 1963. The prosecution expected confessions. Mandela and his co-accused planned defiance. On the 20th of April 1964, Mandela delivered what would become his enduring legacy: the "I am prepared to die" speech. He spoke not just of personal sacrifice, but of the moral imperative to end apartheid. He stated that he cherished the ideal of a democratic South Africa so deeply that he was prepared to die for it. On the 12th of June 1964, the court pronounced a life sentence. Mandela and his fellow activists were shipped to Robben Island, a penal colony off the Cape Town coast. Conditions were brutal. Limestone quarry labor from sunrise to sunset, meager rations and isolation cells. Yet Mandela turned adversity into opportunity. He organized secret classes on law, politics, and multiple languages. Younger inmates, some not even born when apartheid began, looked to him for guidance. They called Robben Island the university, where Mandela was both professor and mentor. Interactions with white prison warders gradually changed his outlook. He saw that transformation would require reconciliation, not revenge. Even as the ANC's armed struggle continued on the mainland, Mandela's private mission was to cultivate a vision of inclusive democracy. Outside the prison walls, Mandela became a global symbol. The slogan "Free Nelson Mandela" reverberated from London concert halls to American college campuses. Trade unions imposed embargoes. Governments debated sanctions. Cultural icons, Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, lent their names to the cause. By the late 1980s, internal unrest, mass protests and township uprisings combined with international economic pressure to push the apartheid state to the brink. President P.W. Botha's limited reforms failed to quell the crisis. His 1985 offer to exchange Mandela's freedom for renunciation of armed struggle was rejected by the ANC. Mandela insisted upon unconditional talks on the ANC's terms. A new president, F.W. de Klerk, took office in September 1989. He moved swiftly to dismantle apartheid's legal scaffolding, unbanning political parties, freeing political prisoners, and unlocking negotiations. On the 11th of February, 1990, Mandela learned of his impending liberation. At 71, he walked out of Victor Verster prison gates to cheers that echoed around the world. His first public words were not calls for victory celebrations, but for dialogue, a recognition that a stable, peaceful South Africa required mutual respect and reconciliation. Between 1990 and 1993, Mandela and de Klerk co-chaired codes of negotiations, a delicate dance between justice and compromise. They crafted an interim constitution guaranteeing universal suffrage, minority rights, and an independent judiciary. Their achievements won the Nobel Peace Prize in December 1993, a testament to what adversaries can build when they choose negotiation over annihilation. In the April 1994 elections, Mandela's ANC won 62.6% of the vote. On 27 April, he became South Africa's first black president. His inaugural address promised that never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will experience the oppression of one by another. Mandela's presidency focused on dismantling apartheid's bureaucracy, repealing discriminatory laws, and launching the Truth and Reconciliation Commission under Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Perpetrators of political violence could seek amnesty by telling the unvarnished truth. He also invested in housing, healthcare, and education for communities long deprived under apartheid. Though he later expressed regret over the government's early HIV/AIDS response, his presidency set South Africa on a course toward social investment balanced with fiscal responsibility. Nelson Mandela passed away on the 5th of December 2013, yet his life remains a blueprint for transformative leadership. His memoir, Long Walk to Freedom, and his speeches continue to inform peace processes from Northern Ireland to Rwanda. Today, as we confront resurgent authoritarianism, climate challenges, and deepening inequality, Mandela's insistence on inclusive dialogue and moral pragmatism holds profound relevance. He taught us that reconciliation in the aftermath of injustice requires both accountability and forgiveness, and that institutions, free press, independent courts, vibrant civil society are the guardians of democracy. In South Africa, the ideal of the Rainbow Nation has met obstacles: entrenched inequality, youth unemployment, and corruption. Yet the constitution Mandela helped craft remains among the world's most progressive. The ongoing work of land reform, poverty alleviation, and governance is, in many respects, his unfinished project. That August morning in 1962, A single arrest set in motion events that would reshape a nation and inspire the globe. From humble rural origins to the highest office in the land, Mandela's journey illuminates a timeless truth. Systems built on injustice can be transformed when moral conviction meets strategic resolve. As we honor his memory, let us carry forward his vision, that dignity, equity, and mutual respect are not distant ideals, but the foundations of flourishing societies. For Mandela, the struggle was never over, nor should ours ever be. Thank you for joining us in this reflection on Nelson Mandela's arrest and his extraordinary legacy. Join us next time as we explore another pivotal moment in the quest for justice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, let us continue the work of freedom together.